Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're running through 10 players who by their usual standards are going through a surprisingly poor season. Let's get started. 10. Danny Ings. When Danny Ings joined Aston Villa in a £25 million move in August 2021, Villa fans were understandably delighted. Having scored 41 league goals in 91 games for Southampton, they believed they were signing a striker still in his prime who could help them improve on their 11th place finish in 2021. But it hasn't quite materialised. The England international, who was capped as regularly as October 2020, contributed 4 goals in his first 5 league games, before his form dried up, with 2 goal contributions in his last 11. In a rare injury-free season, he'd have been disappointed to have only started 13 league games and just over 40% of the minutes since Gerrard's appointment. But a brief look into his stats and it's not surprising. His shots have gone from 2.3 per 90 to a career low 1.7. And for a striker averaging just 0.3 key passes per 90, 10th in the Villa squad, that's a truly worrying drop-off. Whilst Ings has plenty of time to turn it round, a new career low of 0.25 expected goals and assists per 90 has certainly put the spotlight on him. 9. Harry Maguire. There are no two ways about it. Harry Maguire was quite simply exceptional at Euro 2020. Whilst Raheem Sterling would have been a worthy claim, we believe that if England had triumphed over Italy in the final, there would have been a very good chance that the Man United captain would have been named player of the tournament. But fast forward 7 months and Maguire's form has completely collapsed. It's clear he struggled for rhythm, missing 5 games with injury, and when he has been fit, he's played behind a dysfunctional midfield in a struggling team. But his performances in autumn, especially against Leicester, Liverpool and Watford, were a key factor in arguably the most embarrassing few months in United's recent history. We could tell you that his tackle success rate has dropped 4%, or that he now completes 1.1 fewer interceptions per 90, but to be honest, only by watching him can you really see the change in his body language, positioning issues and carelessness in possession. He needs a massive end to 21-22. 8. Thomas Partey. It's fair to say that a year and a half on from Thomas Partey's £45 million move to Arsenal, he hasn't quite lived up to the billing. He's been unlucky, missing 21 matches with injury, meaning he has only started 56% of the Gunners' league games since his arrival. This season, he's averaging just 2.6 tackles and interceptions per 90, with 5 Arsenal players topping his 1.7 tackles, down from a career high 4.6 in 15-16. Factor in under 15 pressures per 90, which ranks in the bottom 13% of midfielders in Europe, and it's clear he's underperforming. It's not as if he's offering game-changing ball progression either. With his 5.4 progressive passes that go over 10 yards towards the opposition's goal, topped by Xhaka's 6.4, whilst his progressive carries have gone from 4.7 in his final year in Madrid to just 3.9. A club the size of Arsenal can't really afford to miss when they spend big. And whilst Partey is far from a flop, he needs to start showing considerably more to justify being Arsenal's most expensive midfielder in their history. 7. Alexander Golovin. In his 4th season with Monaco, after joining for a £27 million fee in the wake of a successful World Cup with Russia, Alexander Golovin is yet to consistently hit the heights expected of him. An average of a goal contribution every 3 games is fine, but given the fact that elite league and attacking midfielders like Payet and Paqueta have averaged 0.6 and 0.5 goal contributions a game since the start of last season, it's clear that the former CSKA prodigy has some way to go to being amongst the best in France, let alone Europe. Golovin's underlying numbers are impressive. 4.2 shot creating actions per 90 is 0.8 more than Monaco's next best Ben Yedder, whilst only 8 players in France can top his 2.5 chances created per 90, level with Neymar. But his actual output has been underwhelming. His expected assists per 90 have dropped from an exceptional 0.5 to an average 0.2, with his average of a goal and assist every 77 minutes in 2021, leaping to 1 every 173 minutes this term. With Monaco already 6 points off the Champions League spots, they badly need their best players, of which Golovin is one, to recover their best form. 6. Lars Stindl. Rewind to the start of February 2021. Gladbach was 7th in the league after losing just 3 of their opening 19 league games and preparing for a Champions League last 16 tie with Man City. A year on and the situation couldn't be more different. After a run of 1 win in 9 games, Gladbach have slipped to 13th, just 1 point clear of the relegation playoff. Whilst their 14-year stint in the German top flight looks unlikely to end this May, the departures of sporting director Max Eberl and Dennis Zakaria in January have heightened the pressure. What would help ease that is if their key players stepped up and returned to 2021 levels, and their captain Lars Stindl certainly falls into that category. The 33-year-old, playing his 7th season of football in West Germany, contributed a phenomenal 22 league goals in 30 games last term, an average of 1 every 89 minutes. This season under Hutter, that has risen to 1 every 216 minutes. Although Stindl isn't alone in the underperforming, with player Thuram and Embolo also struggling for consistency. As club captain, he needs to lead the club out of the mire. 5. Alexander Isak. Despite a month's worth of endless speculation linking him with a move to Arsenal, Alexander Isak will remain a Real Sociedad player until at least the summer. Whilst plenty of Isak goal and skill compilations have been consumed across London in the last 5 weeks or so, the simple fact is the Swede hasn't been at his best so far this campaign. Just 4 league goals and an assist to date, with his expected goals per 90 dropping from 0.62 in 2021, a figure only topped by Messi, Moreno and Suarez, to 0.38, 26th in La Liga. His underlying numbers reflect that too. His shots per 90 have fallen from a promising 3.1 to 2.7, the same amount as Trossard and Edouard in the Premier League. Whilst he has only been successful with 50% of his dribbles, which considering it stood at 54% last term is a noticeable drop-off. Despite finding themselves 3 points behind 4th place Barcelona, Sociedad have only scored 22 league goals, a figure topped by 12 sides in Spain. If Isak can improve his goal scoring return and fire Sociedad into the Champions League for the first time in 8 years, he can leave as a hero. 4. Jan Oblak. Staying in Spain now, and Jan Oblak's form is one of several reasons why defending champions Atletico Madrid are enduring such a woeful season. Next to no impact from Griezmann, defensive injuries, Marcos Llorente failing to recreate his 2021 heroics, and the continued underperformance of the likes of João Felix are all contributing factors, but Oblak's performances seem like the most singularly important one. Last season he was quite simply exceptional. He kept 18 clean sheets, 3rd in Europe behind Maignan and Ederson, saved 2 penalties and prevented just shy of 10 expected goals. This was not only the best record in Europe, but only 2 other keepers, Areola and Martinez, prevented more than 5, which exemplifies just how special the Slovenian's campaign was. 21-22 has been a different story, however. He's kept clean sheets in 27% of his games, his lowest percentage since he was at Rio Ave in 2012-2013, whilst his save percentage of 44% ranks 109th in Europe, only above Greuther Fürth's keeper Marius Funk. Arguably the best keeper in the world over the last few seasons, Oblak, who has let in just 8 more goals than XG predicted, has been one of the worst in Europe this term. 3. Virgil van Dijk. Whilst Liverpool have generally been pretty good this season, losing just 2 league games, a record only bettered by PSG and Inter in Europe, it's fair to say some of their stars haven't been at their best. With Sadio Mane, Jordan Henderson and James Milner all coming in for criticism. The most notable drop-off, however, has been with Virgil van Dijk. The Dutchman Mountain has been far from a disaster considering he's just 26 games into his comeback following an 8-month layoff. A slight dip in form is totally understandable. He's still completing an exceptional 83% of his tackles, but with his mobility slightly impeded by his injury, he's now averaging just 0.8 interceptions per 90, 0.3 lower than at any stage of his Liverpool career. It's with the ball at his feet the biggest difference is shown, with his progressive passes dropping from 4.2 per 90 to 3.2, significantly lower than Matip's 5.3. Factor in that he now completes 77% of his long balls, the lowest of his Anfield career and 9th out of Premier League centre-backs, and it becomes clear that Van Dijk is currently operating at a very good level rather than a world-class one. Recent mistakes against Chelsea and Palace further illuminate that point. 2. Çağlar Söyüncü. Whilst Van Dijk's slight loss of form is to be expected, Söyüncü's has been slightly more puzzling. The 25-year-old Turkish international, capped 43 times by his country, emerged as a key player for Leicester in 2019-20, being named in the PFA Team of the Year alongside Van Dijk. When he recovered from an early season injury to play every game of the Foxes' triumphant FA Cup run, it seemed like a move to an elite club wasn't far away. This season though, he looks like a shadow of his former self. He's played just under 1,600 minutes, a figure topped only by Schmeichel, and seen his tackle success rate fall by 4%, and his pass accuracy drop by 5% on his 2019-20 levels. With Leicester having conceded 37 goals, the 6th worst record in the league, they badly need Soyuncu to rediscover form or their miserable season will wind to a forgettable conclusion. 1. Lionel Messi. When Messi sealed his shock move to PSG on the 10th of August 2021, we could never have imagined including him in 10 stars having surprisingly poor seasons nearly 6 months later. But here we are, and there's no point dressing it up, Messi has underwhelmed. Approaching his 35th birthday, he's capable of averaging 0.9 expected goals and assists per 90, third in France at the time of writing. But given that most people thought he would rip up the supposed Farmers League, a return of 2 goals and 6 assists in his first 13 league games is unexpected. He has been much better in the Champions League, with Haller, Lewandowski and Kunku, Salah and Ronaldo the only players to top his 5 goals to date. But even his 4.6 shot creating actions per 90 is 5.4 fewer than last season and 0.7 of his previous worst tally from the last 10 years. No doubt he'll provide some special moments between now and May, but when measured against expectations, it's been a disappointing campaign. So that was 10 stars having surprisingly poor seasons. Were there any players we missed out, or do you think it was unfair to include any players on this list? Let us know in the comments below. If you did like the video, make sure you drop it a like, and if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe so you never miss one of our videos. We'll catch you next time.